Everybody, Brandon Parker back again with another video. This time this video is going to be a Sony Vegas video tutorial showing you how to create better intros inside of Sony Vegas, how to mess around with backgrounds a little bit, how to mess around with transitions in your intros a little bit, which you can do. All that Sony Vegas will allow you to do, because there's other programs out there that can do a lot better, like Cinema 4D, 3D programs, 3ds Max, stuff like that, or After Effects, something like that. They do a lot better than Sony Vegas for creating intros. Sony Vegas is mainly mostly for editing, like adding transitions, a little bit of effects and stuff like that, and a tiny bit of audio editing, but not much. It just has a little bit of that. If you want to get a lot more better, you have to use something, like I said, like Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, or something like After Effects. So I'm going to get right into Sony Vegas. I already have it open. I'm just going to click on it right here. Okay. And then I'm going to show you, actually first let me show you what I have done on the final. I rendered it out and everything. It didn't take me that long to render it. It's only like 10 seconds long. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, right there is kind of what it looks like a little bit. And I'll show you again inside here what I did a little bit. So I'll close this out. Okay, and then right here, what I have so far is I have some text on top. The first video track I have on top, I have the text where it says pixelpocketmedia.com, which is my website. And then right here, this is my username, Master Sun, right there. Then I just have a background I created in Photoshop of this kind of graffitied style look with this girl in the background a little bit. So I kind of line draw that a little bit. It's pretty neat. So I use that. And then on the bottom track right here, last one, I have like a textured background. It's kind of like a brick concrete texture. And I'll show you exactly what it looks like right here. Some of the transitions I used were dissolve right here. I used color, fade through, color, dissolve on this, and then I used portals, transitions, and then I used cross effects. And then some of the effects I used were film effects. So this was the plugin I used, or the video effect I used was comes with Sony Vegas, just the film effect. Because the new blue effects that I have, they don't really work in 64-bit version of Windows. So I don't really want to mess with the new blue or stuff like that. Because one, I don't really use this as my primarily editing program. I use Final Cut, the one for Mac. So I'm just showing you with the basic stuff. And not a lot of people have all the new blues and stuff like that, so I just stick with the basic stuff anyways. And you can do pretty good stuff with the basic, like what I just showed you here. You don't really have to do too much for your intro. You want to do a lot more, like I said, get something like After Effects, Final Cut, or not Final Cut because that's the one from Mac, but After Effects, 3D programs. I know Cinema 4D and 3ds Max are both for Mac and Windows, so you can use that to create intros. What I'm showing you right now is just the best you can do for Sony Vegas. So, okay, so this cross effect I have is right here. Let's go to transitions. Okay, cross effect I have is, let's go to see cross effects. And what I did was on the first one, I used cross zoom for the text, and the text that I am using, I actually don't really have it installed on my Windows side of my Mac, because I'm using a virtual version of Windows on my Mac, which is VMware Fusion, and not all of my fonts load up and show up from my Mac side. So I decided to do this in Photoshop. So I actually created the font in Photoshop, brought it out some, and then I changed the colors of it because this is the original color of the font right here. So I'll go to Project Media, and right here, this is the original color. So I'll show you right here, bring it down to here. And right there, this is the original color that I did. And you can change that by making it black and white. You just go and add the effect. Let's go to Video Effects. I'll make this black and white. Okay, right here, it's all the way to the top. Black and white. I make it black and white so I can change the color. And then I add it all the way to 100%. Now it's black and white. And then next, I'll just continue adding the effects through here. I'll go to something like color balance first. I'll add that. Go to OK. I'll add that. Play around with the colors a little bit. I added that. And I add like a different concrete background that I have for a texture. So I'll go to Project Media for the background. So I'll go to File, Import, my media, and then I'll go to here. There's the folder. Let's see, let's go to concrete texture I downloaded. Right here. I found somewhere on Google. There it is. And then I'll just put this back here. Right here. I might, because it has an effect there, I'll put it where this texture is. This one right here. So right there. And then I'll right click on it because I don't want it to be cut off like that. So I'll maintain aspect ratio and check that. And then that's concrete background. You can, what I also did even for this background right here, because it's kind of red and it changes to orange a little bit, you kind of can't see that because of the transitions and all that picture, but you can kind of see it right here. Kind of looks a little bit yellow right there. So I changed the colors a little bit. It's actually a little bit red, reddish, more orange right there. So I'll change this color. I'll go to media, not media. Oh, let's see. Let's just go to Video Effects, change the color to, I say, let's start off with black and white first. Let's see, black and white. This is mostly what I do for all of them, is just change them to black and white. Because this is already kind of black and white. It's not, it's just only going to change part of it to black and white. It's already there. Just small parts. And then I'll change the color balance of this. A lot of times I start off with the color balance. Might want it to be a little blue, green, red. I'll probably leave it more black, I guess. It's probably not too perfect of a texture. I'd probably get rid of this. I kind of don't really like it. I don't really like it. I have a lot better ones. I'll go to replace this. Let's replace this. I'll replace it with, I guess, let's try this one. If not, I'll just go to the one that I already used. Because I think it's the only one in that folder that I actually like. Oh, this one's not too bad, I guess. And I'll go to switches again. Uncheck maintain aspect ratio. Well, you can see that, like right down in there, you can see that I use, for that widescreen look a little bit, I use cookie cutter. So I'll go to here, show you that I use cookie cutter. I use cookie cutter to make the widescreen effect, and what I did is I went to square, and then I added the repeat the X, so it's all across there instead of up and down. So, and then I made it black, so it can be widescreen effect. I think it looks pretty cool in widescreen effect, depending on what you're doing. Sometimes widescreen looks better than full screen. That's what a lot of people do on YouTube in their videos. They mix it up a little bit, depending on what they're doing in their video, what's good for them. So I thought widescreen looked better for what I was messing around here, and then I changed the color. I'll change it to, it's already black and white. I'll just leave black and white alone. And I'll go to color balance, or maybe color corrector first. let's see, let's try color balance again first, and then let's play around with this a little bit. Just kind of giving you an idea. Let's see, a tiny bit of blue right there, and then just not much red, just a little bit where you can barely see any red there. Kind of blending in with this. And if you're editing it and you notice that it's kind of not too perfect, so what you want to do is just for a second, just go to full, and then wait for it to come up, and then you'll see that's going to come in really nice when you go to render it out. But don't keep it in best full on the preview, because if you do that, then it's going to lag a lot, and then you're going to spend a lot of time editing. So I always go to preview, leave it preview auto, and it's going to look fuzzy a little bit. But if it looks really good in best full, when you know, just to check it out for a second, then it looks then it's good. Like what you just saw right here when I had it in good and in full, it looks really sweet. The texture comes in really nice. Some textures I already know they come in really bad or they come in really good. So like that last texture, I didn't have to test it out in good full. I already know I don't like that texture because I played around with it a lot in Photoshop. So this one, I kind of like this, and I changed the color a little bit where it shows just a tad bit of red. You don't really notice too much red, and it blends in with the font and everything. It looks really sweet. So I say get some cool textures. Like search in Google for like rock textures, HD textures, something like that. A lot of free ones will come up. I know there's also a lot of places where they watermark the textures because they're trying to sell them on different websites and stuff. But you can still get a lot of good ones. If you really want me to send you some textures, I'll try to put a folder for some good textures. Because a lot of what makes this intro look pretty cool is this texture right here that I'm using. To wait for it to switch over to it because it takes a little bit of a second. That's why I say, yeah, see right there, it looks pretty sweet. You kind of barely see that. I would have to shut it off, but let's see if I could block it. Block this. I'll block this just to show you. See? I changed it to be a little yellow. It looks more like lighter orange. And I changed it to be like yellow. Then I have the film effect. So I'll show you like right in here. I'll go back to preview audio so it doesn't really lag. And yeah, I'm using 64-bit, but because I'm using just a little bit of half the memory from my Windows, like 2 gigabytes, and I have like 4 gigabytes on my Mac, I still put it in preview auto so it won't lag. But it does a lot better than 32-bit. Doesn't really lag too much. So I'll go to, let's see, let's just add the film effect just to show you a little bit what I did with that. Kind of give it a shaky look right here. And then I went to like very old. I added this. The settings from that, and then I just tweaked it. I actually took the color down to, you could change the color. I bring it down to dark. Yeah, right there. So it blends in still. And I do that. Dust, probably put the dust all the way to, I say about 5 or 10. I'll put the dust at 10, right about there. Just flicker. I'll put the flicker at 5. Let's see how that looks. And I'll put the jitter. Leave the jitter there. Scratches. I'll leave it right there. See how that looks. Okay, let's add a transition to this. I'll transition this to, just like I did here, cross effect. Or you can also add for the text, you can add like, let's go to transitions, and you can add like, what I did was the portals, because I think they look really cool. This is the best transition that came with Sony Vegas, I think, and that comes with it. I think it's pretty sweet. I like these effects. It's one of the only effects on here, like for the transition, that I really like, other than the dissolve ones, because, well, pretty much every editing program has this, the dissolve ones. So I use those a lot because those are pretty simple, not too crazy. And then I really like the portal ones, especially when you're messing with images, backgrounds. They do pretty good. And you're messing with text, so you might want to portal this, or you might want to cross effect it. Let's cross effect this, okay, on the text, and let's just portal the background. Let's go to portal, and I'd say I would portal. Let's try the jigsaw one first. Okay. You could change the color of it. I'd probably change it, since it's a little blue, I'll change it to like, let's put some reddish, a little bit orange, kind of like orange a little bit. See how that looks? I'll bring it up to as long as this transition, right about there. It's gonna be playing, I guess, right there. And then let's bring a transition out on this. Okay, let's transition out on this. And I'll do like another portal for this. Let's go to this, because this is what I use for the ending on this. I use a portal out on that. And then the cross effect, I'll add like, let's see this, what this does. We'll see what this looks like. And see, you can tell it looks pretty sweet right there a little bit. Oh, you notice that from the right here. We're gonna make sure we're on this one. Let's see more. See, like right there, it looks pretty sweet with you're adding the portal effect right there. And then the font is like fading in a little bit, cross-affecting, fading in right there. So that looks pretty sweet. And another reason why I think like we'll go down here again, and I'll just add cookie cutter just to this, not on the track. Just add, where's cookie cutter? Why I think adding a widescreen effect looks good. Oh, we're on transitions. We gotta go to video effects, and then we gotta find cookie cutter. It's probably all the way up in here. Yep, right there. And then we'll add it to this. Okay, and then what I did, square. Okay, border, none. Let's go to repeat right here. And then I brought the size about 400, 0.400. Right about there, that looks pretty nice. Right there. And then I'll go to full on this, best full, just to see it, how it's going to be in HD. That looks pretty sweet right there. I'd probably on the font maybe make it a little bit more red. So I'll see what making it red does. Let's go back to preview auto first, so that it doesn't really lag. And then I'll go to color balance. Let's add a lot more red in there. A lot more red. Bring down some of the blue to right about there. Let's go to preview best and see how that looks. Best full. How that looks right there. I guess that looks pretty nice. I like it to blend in some, a little bit, not all the way to where it looks like it's camouflaged in there. I just like to have it blend in some. So that looks pretty nice. I really like that. So I'll go back to preview, and if you go to draft, that will won't lag really. It'll lag a lot less if you have it in draft, but then the quality is gonna look really bad. So I'll go to like the draft auto. See, watch, the quality is really crappy when you're in draft auto. So what you wouldn't want to do is just leave it on preview auto, because it's kind of bad quality, but it doesn't really lag much. And that's not really how it's going to look anyways in when you go to render in HD. Just so that it doesn't really lag too much. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. I really like that. That's pretty much what I did on the intro. You want to do something like that. Oh, and also what I would do is like up here on this one, since the portal is on top of that, I'd probably let's go to this and add a cookie cutter to this too, just to make sure, so that it don't on the transition only happens like on the inside, not on top of the cookie cutter. So we'll go to no border, and then we're gonna go to size 400.400. Okay, right there. Now let's see if it does, if it goes on top of it. It shouldn't. Oh, I think it's going on top of it because the cross effect. So I'd probably just add this again. Okay, let me just drag it down in here. Okay. Now switches, uncheck, maintain aspect ratio. Right there, I'll add portal effects to this, transition, portal transition effect. Let's go to this one because this is what I used. This, I use that. I'll make it a bit longer, and then I'll make this all the way to the end there. I also added the film effect to it, but I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. And that's it right there, I guess. Okay. Oh, I guess not adding. Let's just add the dissolve to these on the texture. Yeah, let's just go to dissolve. Yeah, and what I would do is I would just do the color. Just to add more color, it'll fade through. So it'll fade through all the colors. So that's why it's looking like that, where the portal effect is going on top of the widescreen effect. So if I got rid, see, now it's going to look nice. Just like I did there. And that's pretty much it. If you want to have a, let's see that again. Okay, that was fast. Yeah, see, it's just exactly what I did. Zooming in, it's a cross effect, so it's kind of like zooming in right there. Not real, actually not zooming in, but throwing itself in backwards. It's pretty nice, and that's what I would do. So, I was trying to stop it right there. Now let's see how that looks in preview best full. Give it a second. And that looks pretty nice right there. You can see that HD. That's how it's going to look when you go to render in HD. And I usually just go to preview full, like I said, just to preview it, see how it's going to look in HD. If I like it in best full, then that's right there, and that's it. If I like it, that's how it's going to be. And then I keep it like that, and that's it on this tutorial. Doing intros. If you want to add like media generators, I did a tutorial on media generators, but it's mostly for like kind of mixed in with the montage editing. So I'll put a link to that video, and I'll put a link to my last intro video because I did a intro video showing you how to mess around with text a little bit. So this is kind of a little bit something different. I'm mixing it with textures, mixing it with background. So this is more in depth than my last intro one, where I just show you how to mess around with text a little bit, how to flip it around. So I'm going to put links to those two videos, media generators one with the montage. You can learn some media generators, how to mess with these. Mostly they're just kind of like images, so you can animate them. So like we'll add another, let's go to new track, insert video track. And this is kind of like just like an image. A lot of editing programs have these. And then what I would do is I would like kind of like multiply it, the mask on this. Let's see. Yeah, like right there, since the background is kind of white, multiplying it looks pretty nice. And then what I would do is you could like animate it, since it has it's a generated media, so you can like it has like stuff to edit it. You want it to move this way. You want it to be like that. I leave that right there. We'll play around with this. You want to have a edge blending a little bit, some right there, kind of a little bit of color a little bit to it. Then I change the width all the way down to 0 on both. Okay, and then I'll animate this. Okay, right there. That looks pretty sweet right there. Oh, we're in best full. Actually, I guess I could stay there. It's not really lagging. If it starts lagging a lot, I'll put it back in preview auto. I forgot I left it there. Playing around with that a little bit. You can see height. You might not like, let's see. You put the height all the way. Yeah, it's right about there. We'll see how that looks. And then I'll go to here. Shift B this. I guess it's not really lagging at all, I guess. Not too much, anyway. Oh, no, I'm gonna have to go to preview, let's cancel that. Just because when you try to preview it in real time, you're always gonna still have to go in preview auto. Unless you have 8 gigabytes of memory on your computer. So we're gonna go to preview auto. Just see what the effect is gonna do. Playing around with that a little bit. That kind of looks pretty cool. Some right there. Depending on what you're trying to go for, you might want to change. I'm gonna change this back to best full. Just kind of see how it's gonna look with the color. Blue a little bit. That looks pretty nice. A little bit of shadow in there, and then because of the transition, kind of gives it like a nice effect a little bit right there. So I'll preview this and see how that's gonna look. It's gonna lag some, but you just kind of getting the general look of how it's gonna look. Right there, and I'll just move the slider a little bit. That looks pretty sweet. I like that. I like that it's a little bit blue on the text, whatever. You can have it say whatever you want. This I'm just showing my username, and then on this right here, I just showed my website, which is pixelpocketmedia.com right there, and then I brighten it up a lot, and it's kind of flickering right there. I added a lot of flicker on the film effect. So the film effect is pretty neat to have because it gives it kind of like a scratchy look, kind of old TV look. It gives it a pretty nice effect. So I really like that. And you can add it if you want. You can add it to your picture, like I did here. I added it a little bit on this one right here. On this one where I have the picture of the girl that I made in Photoshop. So I have it a little bit right there. So that's it on this tutorial. That's it. Please subscribe to all 3 of my YouTube channels. This one for more tutorials. If you want to see intro making tutorials, I do that. I do a bunch of other stuff. I do web design tutorials, how to code websites, stuff like that. So I do different kinds of tutorials on this channel, both Mac and Windows. I don't like to stick to just Mac, even though my main primarily computer is Mac, but I also run Windows on it. And then I also have an old PC laptop computer, but I don't really use that much because it's pretty old, and so I just mostly do my work on my Mac and everything. So if you've got questions, let me know. I would like to do a lot more effect tutorials showing you After Effects, stuff like that. So I'm going to start doing a lot of tutorials with that a little bit, and a lot more web design tutorials. I like to get more in depth with PHP. I like to get more in detail with HTML. I kind of went over a little bit on that, but not much. I like to go into real detail with that. So please subscribe. My second channel is Spinock for random videos. I do just effect videos there. I do sometimes movie reviews, sometimes parody videos, whatever comes to my mind. I feel like doing on that channel. And then I do gameplay videos on my third channel, which is Fantasy Art. And that's it. See you later, and subscribe, and that's it.